Alrighty guys, welcome back to Unit 5. So I hope you guys had fun learning how to experiment with Twitter's API and also with implementing into an iOS application. And this week, well, same stuff, we're gonna, wait, do I even have a presentation today? Oh, I do have a presentation this week. Nice. There you go. Cool. So this week we're going to be learning Instagram, and we have some walkthrough videos as always, the usual. But this time, instead of using Twitter's API to log in the user, you guys are going to be building your own user authentication from scratch. So you're going to be using Parse to implement the database through MongoDB using Heroku's platform in order to implement your whole project. So this is going to be exciting, and don't worry, we're going to go through as much Parse as we can today. And also, I'm going to introduce you guys to AR through this awesome startup called Viewsart. And before we introduce them, I want to go through the slides real quick. So furthermore, so don't forget to check out the tutorials. They've been updated since last quarter because, as I mentioned, since Xcode and Swift has been updating their languages, we updated our own videos as well. So remember to submit. We already know that. The submission deadline is this Sunday midnight, or in other words, midnight before our next session. You guys already know all that stuff. And thank you guys so much for using the discussion system. It's been very helpful for most of you guys. I know that there are some things that we can't really solve, like when it comes to outlets or missing connections, because those are really hard to describe the errors of, and they're usually very vague. But I can help you guys with that after class for my office hours, or on Fridays for my office hours as well. And so today, you guys already know what we're going to be doing around. We're going to be working on the Instagram, and for today's lab, we're going to be using, I sent you guys through the email the attendance, and I forgot to put that up here, but make sure to download the starter project. We're going to be working with Parse a little bit, and I will introduce you to how to implement a simple user authentication. And also, you guys will be making your own messaging app. So it's like your own Facebook Messenger. That's for today's lab. So please go ahead, don't pay attention to this. Please go to the attendance. And on the email that I sent you, make sure that you go to bit.ly. If you guys didn't receive that email, it's bit.ly/CodePath Unit 5. And this should be the attendance sheet for today, and the code for today is Parse. So make sure you do that so I can make sure I get your attendance before we get started. Else, if you guys put something else, it won't work. So you gotta make sure you use Parse. And let me know when you guys are done. And in the meantime, I would like to introduce Viewsart to come up and demonstrate you guys about AR technology in iOS development. Are you guys good to go? Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you. While he is setting up, I can give a quick overview about myself, and at the end we'll talk about a little about Viewsart. So I'm Gokul. I'm head of engineering. I used to be head of engineering for a company, Surfline, now director of software engineering at Kelly Blue Book. I manage the team at Kelly Blue Book for building their website and their apps. And prior to that, I worked at Disney for 8 years. I managed multiple teams at Disney for game development, Disney.com, VideoDisney.com, and a couple of other projects for Disney. Right now, we are starting a company called Viewsart, and we are building an AR app. And I want to talk to you guys about today app development in a corporate world, whatever you guys are going through iOS app development. And once you learn how to program in Shift, how do you take that and do it in an actual app in a company? Right? What are the other things you need to learn across that? And then quickly walk through a sample AR app, and probably we have an AR app challenge as well. And if you guys are interested, you can do that. And then we'll little bit talk about what's about our company, what are we doing, and more in detail about the user. Cool. Do you want to start with the presentation? Oh, you have a slide.
So while this set up, guys, I wanted to mention what you guys will be working on after finishing next week's project. So after you finish working with building your own Instagram from scratch all the way to a completed version of it, you will be starting to work on your own projects, which will consist of meeting up in teams. And you have to let me know who you want to work with so that I can lock up and know who you're going to be working with. And I wanted to propose to you guys the idea of working with anything that you want, including AR, which is why I wanted to have this startup tech company, which is in UCI, to present about AR because they know more than I do in AR technology. So if you guys wanted to do a project in AR, the user will be more than glad to help you guys out in implementing whatever ideas you want in AR. So if you guys had any questions or concerns about AR, they are the ones to go to. And during the next 3 weeks of working on your project, you can go to their office hours. I will email you all the details about that, where you can go into the office, ask questions. They're in UCI, so it's on campus. You don't have to go anywhere. And they will be happy to answer any questions regarding AR, so you have to work on your project.
I want to introduce Brian, our iOS developer, and he will walk through, both of us will walk through the AR app, right? And as I told you, app development, there are more to what you guys are learning through. Once you learn Swift programming, you would need to know how to design an app, right? I'm not sure if you already learned about storyboard. That's how you design your screens. So you would start learning about storyboards in Swift, right? And a lot of people, what they do is they start with storyboards and then they switch back to code, writing all their views in code, so there are better maintainability and consistency, right? But you want to start with initially with storyboard and how the storyboard is linked up to the view and things like that. And as you go, find out how the code is written and learn to write views within the code, right? And once you start doing that, there is something called project structure. You want to define the classes as an MVC or MVP or MVVM. There are different ways of doing it, and based on use cases, you would start defining these things, right? I don't know if you guys know about MVC. Anyone know what an MVC is? You guys know? It's a model view controller. So it's kind of a design pattern, how you structure your code. You put all your data as a model, view part presentation layer as a view, and the controller is one who designates the model and the view, right? And there are advantages between each of these things. So some has advantages with MVC, and now people are more moving towards MVCS, which is this MCS is the store. In iOS apps, what you want to do is you want to download all the data. I think you learned about API, getting data from an API. You want to download that, store it in a cache, so when the internet is not available, you can pull from the cache, and that's what you call MVCS. CS is the store part of it, right? And some people use MVP instead of a controller, they use a presenter. So the advantage of having a presenter is you are delineating the business logic into the presenter and use an interface to talk to between the view and the presenter, right? And some people, when it goes to more robust, big scale projects, they use MVVM. VM is the view model, so you put all the business logic for the view in the view model. So all your gesture or interactions goes into the view model, whereas view is a simple dummy of your screen, right? And still the model remains the same. It's more about your data is captured, right? And once you start defining your project structure, then you want to talk about dependency injections, so dependency management. You would start including various other libraries into your project, say Twitter SDK or Firebase SDK, things like that. You want to manage those dependencies through CocoaPods. There is some, I don't know if you guys went through CocoaPods yet. So that's a good way. That's typically, it's a default standard when you start developing in a corporate or a company. And then you would have code versioning, branching, and code reviews, so that you follow a coding guidelines. And code reviews, usually we do GitHub or any kind of version control, and they review your peers, review your code, and they go through a code review process and make sure your code is linked properly, they follow certain code styles and things like that. And once you do that, you want to continuous integration and continuous deployment. So you want to create the builds regularly and ship it to your testing team or UAT teams. So you use a tool called Fastlane, and there is a tool called Jenkins. So you kind of package and bundle these things, right? So you write your code, you do CI/CD, you get your builds, and then you do code signing and provisioning to distribute your app. So you will have two different code signing, one for your development, one for your production, and also distribute and provisioning when you want to do it for App Store or an enterprise app, or if you want to just giving it to your own friends, then there is a different way of provisioning, development profile provisioning. So these are high level. I quickly run through what are other things you would start doing when you start creating a professional app and want an app to be published in the App Store, right? Now, quickly, I want to jump into the AR. Quick, high-level intro. AR is, how many of you know about AR? What an AR is? Sure? No? 1%, 2, 3. So, augmented reality is nothing but you're bringing something from the real world into the digital space, right? So we all heard about virtual reality. It's all in the headset. It's all virtual. So AR is like, I want to place something in this table, right? I want to place a laptop in this table. So I want to bring some digital asset, like I have a digital file of a laptop, and I want to place it here through an app. I can do that in an augmented reality, right? And the iOS has something called ARKit as an augmented reality SDK. And in the augmented reality SDK, there are mainly 4 important classes you would need to know. One is the AR session, which manages the device camera and motion processing. So when you look at your camera, that's where it captures the real world, and that is done by AR session, right? And you would instantiate the AR session through the AR scene view, and you would need to pass a configuration. Like, do I want to scan the horizontal surface or the vertical surface, or I need to detect 3D and few other configurations, you can pass it through the AR session, right? And you would instantiate AR session through your scene view. There are 2 types of scene view. One is to render your 3D files, which is AR scene view, and AR SK view is more about 2D objects, right? Like you have just an 3D images and you want to place those 2D objects, you use a different class for it. And when you instantiate scene view, you can invoke the AR session, which would get all the different AR aspects into that class. So that's a high level few things, and now we want to go into a sample project.
Yeah, so I was featured of this. Okay. So yeah, so I've actually only learned ARKit for 2 weeks now, and I'm not really well versed in it, but we made a small project using ARKit, which mainly starts in the info.p list actually. So we always start here because when we're using AR, we want to use our device's camera, right? So we always have to enable privacy, camera usage description. So basically, this just prompts you to basically enable a camera on your phone. Like if you don't have this on your key list, your app just crashes after it opens, basically. So yeah. And in here you could just type in what message you want, any message you want, but in this case just type in please enable a camera to use this app. So the first time your phone opens this opens this app, it's gonna ask you for this question, and you can just click on OK or and then we move on to the storyboard. So I decided not to hard code ARKit, but instead I just decided to use storyboard because it's easier, right? So this is what my phone looks like. I basically use a view controller class where I put in AR scene view, which was the 3D based ARKit, and a collection view here where I could like basically choose what I want to put. So in this case, I have a button called enable item, which will change basically based on like the item name. So yeah, and everything is mainly controlled by the view controller. where I import ARKit, and yeah, and as the items, I just like basically put in the item names in an array or in a list as strings because this is just a simple app. I don't implement like databases and things like that. I just use like strings, and the objects are actually here. So it's boxing, cup, orange, table, and things like that. And I just put the string version inside my view controller Swift, and I connected the scene view here as an outlet, and the library, which is a collection view here. And yeah.
So if you see this, ER, we still on the fourth line, scene view.session.run, and you're passing a configuration. That's how it instantiates the ER session, right? Which gives you all the information about the ER. And you pass it to the scene view, and the scene view, you use the scene view to add gestures on the scene view, and then you add items to the your list. And hit list is how you can control what you find in your real world. Right?
Yeah. So basically, you can add items by tapping on the screen, but in our case, we only want to add items when we find a horizontal plane. So yeah, and this is how we basically like identify where, like which item, like how each item is in this models folder. This is how we navigate through the models folder. We just use a string and we format it. We give it a selected item. So this changes based on what item you put in. So let's say you want to put in a base, so it becomes model/base.sen basically, and we transform the model into an x, y, and z coordinates by doing transform.columns.3. So we could tell it. So we could tell it the x, y, and z coordinates, and yeah, this is how we put it. Yep.
Could you zoom in a little more?
Zoom in.
Yeah. Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Like, if you want to see the how
Yeah,
how
you
the
show how it runs.
Would it show up here?
I'm not sure if I could connect my phone.
No.
Nope. Okay. Well, I guess we can show it.
Is it okay if we can pass around the phone? See
Yeah.
the objects?
Yeah,
Should I
sure.
do it on the arcade?
Sure.
You guys want to play around? So the objects are at the bottom. You can click on it, scan the surface, you tap it, it'll be on the yard.
Oh, I think the app crashed.
Oh. Probably we placed too many objects in it. It's just a sample app, this one.
I guess you could try using like so.
Yeah.
So yeah. People on this side. So at first attempt to detect a horizontal plane, which it's not. So once it detects the horizontal plane, it's gonna put like these yellow dots where you can place objects.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put a cup. Wait, it's not exactly the horizontal
Yeah, you
plane.
can
Right?
It's 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So that's the basics
there
of
we go.
yard.
The cup. Ah, it's not enough space. I know it's hard, because there's no horizontal plane. I guess we could do it from your perspective. So you detect the table, right? And then we can put the cup in there. There we go.
So you have
And then
your
it's
own
detects
app.
the,
Cool.
Whenever you
What
see
did
those
you-
yellow dots.
how far you
it's
got?
object.
I'm like a very basic one.
Cool.
Well, the rest of the people
Well, we
haven't
didn't
had a
have
chance
time
to
to-
look
Yeah.
at the app.
Sorry.
We can in the
Yeah.
future.
If you guys haven't had a chance to look at it, play around with it, don't worry. We're
Yeah.
gonna show you a video that shows you pretty much what you can do with AR.
Yeah. And this could be your project. If you guys are interested, you can work on this project.
That's like a bomb.
It's
For
called
boxing?
Beer Pump. It's super interesting and fun.
So you're gonna take
You can use it in a AR to do this.
The space is too small.
I'm clicking on it.
No?
I guess you should do it like on the floor. Oh no, it's just crap. So these three, when I show you your origin, like this is where your phone started. Oh, it's Louis Batman, Batman is okay, just new art. Yeah. There's one, the big. Yeah. I can click on the arm.
No, it's okay.
Yep. You just have to win so there's a yellow line. Yellow box. We'll use Batman because Batman crashes.
Oh, I see.
Okay, there's not enough space because there's not enough yellows.
Oh, wait, the cups are all.
Big arm.
I thought they were real cups.
I just wait here.
Well,
So this is simple one, right? Like you can place,
you know,
look at your camera, place your cups, and then touch on it.
Just don't try Batman because
You throw
Batman
the ball.
fails. Like,
And
because it's not in the right
You
format.
figure out if it falls in it, you take the cup
You'll
out,
have to
right?
find a surface first.
Would it be possible to put real cups and then have the ball?
Yeah, totally.
That's the-
But then it becomes very complicated is
Like, you'll have to
you need to
check
find the
the
real cup's height.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
do
those
those
dots are the
things.
horizontal surface.
So,
protected,
but you can
if
try.
there's not enough space, it's not gonna. Like,
That'll be even more fun. I want to give it like the
Like,
basics of
like four or
it,
something
not
like
go
that.
too much.
And then-
As the vision systems
Then you'll
improve over
eventually
time, the ability for the devices and the hardware to actually recognize the environment better and solve problems like
There's
vehicle
a
vision,
couple
then you'll be able to start to
Let's try it.
instruments a lot easier.
Something like that.
Oh.
Essentially, the vision systems will do a lot of the recognizing and coding out for you on the fly. Some of the stuff that are out there is the depth sensing cameras and some other devices that enable that. But even some of the newer devices are coming out, you know, the iOS, the
Oh,
Apple
wow.
products, iPhones,
What happened?
iPads.
There's a boxing
They've
thing.
got all
Oh,
these
yeah.
good depth sensing.
I made it really tall.
Alright, that's perfect segue. That's quick run through if you want to really give you a fast one. And I want to introduce Aaron, our CEO, and he will give a quick overview about user and what we do.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for about 2 years now. We started with Gokul and I and one of our other founders. We were students in the executive MBA program over at the Paul Mirage School. And Gokul gave you his background. I used to work in finance. I was a trader on the trade floor at PIMCO. I'm also a former Special Forces guy, Army Ranger. I was blown up in Afghanistan and medically retired. And I've started up a couple other companies in the past. So what we're trying to do is we're building an app right now and going to market in June, and we're in the process of, we've already moved through our prototype phase. We're now on the MVP, minimal viable product right now, and we're looking to put this app together, put this product out into the market. We just had our first customer this last week at the Anaheim Convention Center at the Automation Expo. It was a 3D additive manufacturing company called EOS. And what we're looking to do now, like I said, is just to get this product out into market. So that process in which we're going through right now is the incubation process at the business school. So we have space over there. We're linked up with the Beal Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And we've got about 11 interns right now that are working for us. And they're all with the computer sciences department, aerospace engineers, and manufacturing engineers. And we're also developing other key aspects of the platform that we're putting together. Some of that is UI UX. We got an Android platform that we're building on. But right now, we're really focusing on the iOS development because ARKit, and as you guys know, there's a lot of powerful stuff to be done with iOS. iOS is a great platform. So we're looking for more people that can, that have interest in augmented reality, that have interest in learning on how to get a startup off the ground, are interested in being in that type of environment and learning from others. This is, everything you do in school is kind of that theoretical aspect of things. You learn all the skills you need, but a lot of those skills that you really will learn out in the real world is the same exact things that we're doing in our space. So if you guys want to see how a real product that is getting put out into the real market is done, come join us, come see what we're doing. And if you guys just want to come by and have any questions for us, if you're working on your own stuff, as Guillermo noted, you guys are more than welcome to stop by, talk with us. We'll answer any questions we can for you, help you through your project if you're going to choose AR. And if you want to choose AR, we've got a couple of stories that are currently up on our board in Jira, and we'd love to have you guys help us work on those. And we can segment those out to you guys, and you guys can own one of those pieces of our epic. And that could be, set up with your project as well for your week 6, week 7 project.
The final project that they're gonna work on.
Yeah, and so that's it in a nutshell. If anybody's got any questions.
Where are you located?
We're located here on campus at the Mirage School on the 2nd floor. Yeah, it's the new business.
You got like a room number or?
It's the Deal Center. It's up on the 2nd floor. Deal Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And here was all get you all that information too.
Yeah, I'll forward you guys all the details about their office, their hours that they're available.
Contact
and
info. You guys can
contact info. So if you guys wanna do a project in AR, you're totally fine. You can do whatever you want. It's just that since I'm not specialized in AR, I won't be able to help you as much throughout the progress. So I talked to my boss and he said, yeah, that's great. If you can, your students should be able to do whatever they want. But the challenge is providing the help for them. So I found a resource, a great resource for you guys, which is Aaron and Real Cool and company, which will provide you great access to all the resources that you need in AR in terms of knowledge, skill sets, and answers to your questions. So if you guys want to work on AR, feel happy to do so. And I wanted to let you know that you won't be alone on it because there's even a startup that works with AR.
And
So
we do have openings too, so if anybody likes what they see and likes the environment, likes the team, we're looking for people that want to join the team.
thank you so much, Aaron.
Cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yes. I got it. Thank you.
Awesome. See you guys around.
Thanks.
See ya. All right, guys. I hope you guys had a glance on AR. I will be sending the project to the